Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Chit Chat Show. One chit and chat like there's no tomorrow. I'm your host, Favorite Flav, and welcome back to a new episode. It's been so difficult trying to find a date to record. I'm saying I got assignments to do. I started a new job, and all of this other things that I got to do to prepare for life in the future. And it's been hard. And mind you, I have so much to do, yet I wasn't really doing much of it. All I what was in my head is that I need to record. I need to record. I have a topic in mind, but I need to find time to record. And honestly, I really could have been done this, to be honest. But yeah, we are now. We're finally doing it. Got some assignments in. I got a lot of assignments in today, which is good as well. And mind you, I haven't really been doing much, and I had a lot to do. I have a lot to do. But I haven't really been doing much. I don't know why. I don't know what was in the hair, but I feel like the closer the semester is ending, it's harder to get the stuff in. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you like? Is that usual? Like the is about to be over. I should be locked in, grinding, and all that. But for some reason, it's not working. It's not working out. But I definitely had to pick it up so I can get this recording done. Also, the reason why I was actually stopping myself to record was that I don't think I should be recording an episode if I know I have X amount of assignments to do, you know? So I guess this is like my reward for doing something, you know, because I accomplished something today and the past few weeks. So yeah. Um yeah. So this past week or this past few weeks, or before I even get into that, last episode, I was like, go ahead, challenge yourself, try something new, don't be afraid, you know? And I did that. I ain't step all the way out of my comfort zone though, but I did do something. You know, I changed the hairdo a little bit. I challenged myself. I did a style that I've never done before, a technique that I've never done before. You know, like I stayed up all night trying to get the squeak weave on and things like that. Getting this pixie cut, trying to shape it up. That's something new. That was a challenge, you know, and we did it. It came out looking nice. Tell me not. And honestly, it's about to be off in a couple of days. Who knows? Maybe today. But that was something new, honestly. But I would say I definitely would like to continue doing something new, something different. I'm gonna keep challenging myself. There is something else that I am doing or currently kind of in the process of doing, but I can't say too much on that yet. Let me Yeah, I can't say too much on that yet because I don't know if it's gonna work out or not. So let me not say too much on it or say it at all. But I hope you guys did go out to try to challenge yourself and do something new. And yeah, and also I would say like this past few weeks, I think my discernment has been getting stronger. Yeah, I've been like noticing things that I normally wouldn't notice about me, about people, around others surrounding me, you know. I feel like I've definitely been becoming wiser. I don't know what's in the air or what it is, but yeah, when your eyes starts to open, it's hard to close it right back. Ooh, it's hard because when you start noticing things that like you never noticed before, it does kind of, you know, it's like, okay, what's going on? Where's all this coming from? Like, and it makes you want to do something about it, but sometimes it's just like, where do I even start from? You know, especially if it got to do with like other people too. It's like, where do I even start from? But yeah, and today, what I even want to talk about really is like something that I never really used to notice until not so long ago. And when I tell you not so long ago, I mean like not so long ago. Because I feel like when people say not so long ago, they be talking about like 2 months, 3 months. I'm talking about not so long ago, like within the week. Yeah. And this is something that I never really noticed was really like being done to me, to be honest, because I would say that I'm a really kind person. I care a lot. I love hard and all that stuff. So I would say I really just let that blindside me. I just do it because it's coming straight out the heart and things like that. But it does get draining. And sometimes I'm like, where is my energy going? Why don't I have energy left for myself to take care of myself? And that's because I'm busy taking care and caring for everybody else but me. I put myself last every single time. Whenever anybody needs something or whatever, I'm quick to drop everything, just go help out whatever way I can. And even if they don't even ask for help, it's like I'm still dropping stuff to go help out. I never put myself first. I'm always yes, yes, yes. I don't know how to say no. Well, I didn't really know how to say no. But now, now, it's like I need to start being selfish. And I've always thought that being selfish was a bad thing. I thought it was a greedy thing. I thought like nobody should be selfish. You should always like care for it. But also, I'm like now I'm at the point where it's like you could care for other people and also be selfish at the same time, right? Cause really, I'm just like, if I keep pouring into people, right, I have nothing left to get pouring to for me to pour into my own cup, right? And then it's just like now there's nothing left to pour into other people. There's nothing left to pour into me. But if I'm selfish and then I am able to pour into myself, I'll be able to pour more into other people. Does that make sense? But I've just been like, I would say I've really just been having that eye open moments here and there, whether I'm just driving or I'm just in my bed or I'm in conversation with people. I'm really just like, wow, you know. And honestly, I feel like because I am so kind hearted, because I do care so much, because I want to love everybody or whatsoever, because I don't want to see anybody struggle or whatnot, because I want everybody to have what happiness for them to do what they need to do. I want everybody to be whatever, right? Because I want all of that for people, and I do care so much for me to, turn that into action and things like that. I do realize that I don't really get appreciated for it. I'm not saying that I'm doing it because I want to get appreciated. I'm doing all of these things because I genuinely do want to do it, because I genuinely do care. But it gets to a point where it's like, yes, I genuinely do care and all that stuff, but it can be really draining. And I am drained. I'm drained. And also, I was just doing research because, right, I was just like, okay, what does this even mean? And then the idea of being taken for granted, right, it popped up. And then usually I'm just like, I know what it means, but I never really truly knew what it meant, right? And I never really knew how to even notice if I'm being taken for granted, if I'm taking someone else for granted. I don't even know how to notice that. I don't even know how to, like, call it out. I don't know how to tell or whatnot. So I was just doing research, right? And then I was just going through that memory lane, and I was just like, dang, I've really been taken for granted, by a lot of people. By a lot of people. And being taken for granted means that your efforts, presence, or contributions are assumed rather than appreciated. It happens when people expect you to always be there, always help, always say yes, without acknowledging or valuing what you do. Right? So basically, you do things for people, you never put yourself first, you say yes countless of times. So whenever somebody calls, it's not even, it's like now an expectation, or and they just assume, oh yes, they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, you know? And that's what it means. Not even necessarily like, oh, I know this person is gonna do it because they truly care, I really appreciate them and I appreciate it now. It's just like all of the old appreciative stuff, it just goes out the window. It's like, yeah, they got me, they got me. So I'ma just, abuse it because they got me and I feel like I've been abused. I feel like my time has been abused countless of time, you know what I mean? And also, it's one thing for someone to say, like, they appreciate you, right? It's another thing for it to be shown. I've had, you know, a couple people said, oh, yeah, they appreciate me or whatnot, but there's no actions to back it up. And honestly, we all need to ask ourselves, does this person really appreciate me the way they say that they do? How have people shown that they really appreciated me, Or is this just something that they just say, oh yeah, thank you, appreciate you, dog. Like, oh, like, like I know I can always comment you, like, thank you. But how do they show that, you know? How do they express that? Because y'all, words are just words. Actions speak louder than words. And you, me, right, show action, show that we care through action. I show that I care through actions. If I tell somebody I appreciate them, I'm gonna have action to back it up. Maybe not right then and there, but you will see how me caring does show you that I appreciate you. But I feel like people get so comfortable with you always being there that they no longer think that they have to have action to back it up. Comfortability. Last week or whatever, last time, I did speak about how when you get comfortable, it's very hard. You can get cooked. But now it's just like, okay, now what if you allow people to get comfortable? And definitely people like your friends, family, whatsoever, they should definitely feel comfortable around you. But there's a level of comfortability that it's crossing the line, because you can get comfortable, but not everybody should get too comfortable. Like too comfortable. You gotta clock it. I need to clock it, right? And while I was doing my research, right, I was just like, okay, what are the signs of being taken for granted? Because I want to know, I really want to know when I'm being taken for granted. I want to be able to, clock it as soon as I see it. I don't want to wait. I don't want to give it another chance. I don't want to be like, oh no, maybe this is just a one time thing or whatnot. I want to know now, because I feel like something that I do bad in, like I really like, is being able to set boundaries. I really suck when it comes to setting boundaries. I let people get too comfortable, and then when they get too comfortable, I start, wanting to keep my distance. I start like, hold on, like, more you think, like, what is this? I just take in or whatever whatever they do to me. You know what I mean? When people get comfortable, when they get too comfortable, they have they have a quick access to get you hurt. But I really wanted to know the signs. Like, what are the signs of taking of someone getting taken for granted, or me getting taken for granted, right? And in friendships and relationships, lack of appreciation is one of them. When they really say thank you or acknowledge what you do for them, right? Next one is the one-sided effort. You're always the one reaching out, making plans, or supporting them, but they don't do the same. The next one is only there when they need something. They disappear when things are good, but show up when they need help. And the last one is disrespecting your time, constantly canceling, showing up late, or expecting you to drop everything for them. And I'm gonna just let that sit in a little bit. I'm gonna just let you think a little bit. It's like, is anyone in my life right now taking me for granted? And honestly, I feel like with just this list, I could think of a couple people, you know what I mean, that's in my life right now that I'm just like, oh wow. Because honestly, I feel like when it comes to me and my friendships or relationship, they there is times where I feel like this is very one-sided. And I always just thought, okay, maybe because of just lack of communication, because I am always trying to communicate. But I guess the point where, like, yeah, you communicate, right? And then you've said it multiple times, but it's still not, you know? So now it's just like, okay, now what's wrong? Like, what's the issue? But the issue really is that they've gotten so comfortable, too comfortable, right? That now it's like you're actually getting taken for granted, but you never really see that. I never really saw that. I'm always just like, okay, cool. It is what it is. I'm still gonna care for this person. I'm still gonna have love for this person. You know what I mean? Whenever or if ever someone needs something, or I'm gonna be there for them. But it's really like, wow, you gotta really like deep it. Like, am I even getting the appreciation that I deserve? You know, is this a one-sided thing? Right? Like, are you checking up on them more than they're checking up on you, or is it equal? Are you trying to make plans with them more than they're trying to make plans with you, or is it equal? You know, like, what is it? I had a I had an old friend, right? And this was a this friend. It was a friend group, right? It was three of us in a friend group, you know, and then we're all different ages, probably like a year or two apart, all three of us. There's the oldest, I was the middle one, and then there was the youngest one. So cool. And we always talked on the phone a lot, always texted a lot, but we never really seemed to hang out with each other because of like location wise. And we were still young. We didn't have a car. Only one of us had a car, which was the oldest one, right? And then cool. Um, we're all close. And then over time, I want to say over time, we all had a job, right? The oldest one definitely been working because she got a car. She got to afford the car. Me, I'm still a kid. I'm not working that much, but I would say I just started working, and then getting the money come in. The youngest one was working as well, right? So this point period, was working and things like that. And for some reason, the oldest one was always asking us for money. Which at that time, me and the youngest one were always like, yeah, of course, we got you, because we truly cared for a friend. We loved our friend very much. So obviously, we're not going to think much of it, right? And then when we all wanted to hang out because the oldest one has the car, right? We're just like, oh yeah, let's hang out. Let's say, so I lived farther away from the two of them. Both of them, I would say, lived maybe like 10, 15 minutes away from each other, right? And then me, I was like 40 minutes out from them. And then I was like, and then we was like, oh, let's hang out, cool. But the oldest one always wanted to ask for gas money. Gas and cheap, we get that. We get that, but it was just like very constant. So every time, so you're telling me you're not gonna come hang out with us because we're not gonna give you gas. But my mind wasn't there. We wasn't thinking about that, you know. Dang, what the heck? We wasn't thinking about that. We're kids, we're still naive, this was years ago, you know. And then cool, time goes by, still the same thing. To help us get something, right? She would still ask for money. Cool. And then this one time, right? I was gonna go to her crib, right? To do her hair. No payment. I didn't ask for no payment, didn't ask for anything, right? To go do her hair. I took the train, took the bus, took the train, right? Ubered, whatever I needed to do to get to her location. I, like, mind you, I stayed 40 minutes away from her, but when me taking the train, taking the bus, that's over an hour. That's 1 hour plus to get to her location, right? And then, did I ask for money? No, cool. But not to say, like, oh, that you can't expect people to do the things that you would do. So, but I was just like, okay, yeah, sure, figured my way there, figured I was gonna get the money there or whatever. Stood for X amount of hours getting her hair done, like doing her hair, um, and for me to come right back and a 1 hour plus train, right? So cool. And then I still didn't think much of it. I didn't think much of it, but I'm telling you, this girl did not show me that she appreciated me, right? Yeah, she said thank you or whatever, but actions wasn't there, right? It was really one sided, the lack of appreciation, And then obviously when you need something, that's when you're gonna put more into the friendship. And then when you get it, you're gonna take the steps back. Take the steps back. Take the steps back. But yeah, so cool. Me and the youngest one, we didn't think much of it. We just we just showed love the way we knew how to show love. With action, we showed that we cared for her. And then fast forward, I'm in school. Um, I want to say what I was a sophomore, maybe sophomore year, kind of, sorta, whatever. Cool. And then now I'm just hearing a bunch of things that this girl, the oldest one, has been saying behind I and the youngest one's backs, right? And then I got really mad. At first, I was like, okay, cool, whatever, you know what I mean? It is what it is because I'm the type of person that's like, if you're talking bad about me, solely about me, whatever, cool, you got that, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna go back and forth with you, honestly, like, you got it. So, but this girl had the audacity to talk about my family. And that's when I got heated up. At first, I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not even in the same state as this girl, you know what I mean? But as soon as I heard that she wanna talk about my family name, my family. Oh, I was ready to get on that bus to go back. Ooh, I was ready to go back. And honestly, and then I just started thinking, I said, after all that I've done, that my our other friend is done, right? After all of these things, you know what I mean? And we've never asked for anything back from her, right? Like we never asked her, oh, help me out with gas money, or even if it was like, oh, I don't have the bread right now, you know what I mean? Like we've never ever, you know. But it was really just hurtful because all these years, right? You really took us for granted, right? And we never even noticed it, which was what pissed both of us off, right? Because we got taken for granted so bad, right? And mind you, we're supposed to be looking up to this girl too, since she's the oldest, right? But no, like we got taken for granted so bad, right? And then tried to drag us with it, right? And honestly, it really did hurt. It really made change a little bit about the way like I started viewing people, you know. It made me start even like, wow, is my other friend even taking me for granted? Like I really was panicking. I was like, wow, like what just happened under our nose, right? We're barely working, but when that payday hit, she was quick to be like, oh, help a sister out, you know. Sure. You know, and if I was to calculate the amount of money that I sent this girl in years, over years, my mom would be would be sad. She'd be like, ah, mm. You see, I didn't even tell my mom what even happened with me and the girl or whatever, because my mom be asking, oh, da da da. Just like I don't know, I just don't speak to her anymore, you know, because personally, I don't want my family or anybody viewing the girl like, I don't want to drag her name down in the mud. I really could, but I don't want to drag her name down in the mud, to be honest. Like that's just not me, honestly, you know. But I was really just brokenhearted. One thing that's gonna hurt is when a friend do something to you. I don't even care about like relationship heartbreaks like that, you know. Those be hurting. But one thing about a friendship heartbreak, oh, that one hit different, you know. But yeah, it really just like I said, I didn't really know. We was naive, you know. Like what the heck knew anything about it being taken for granted? But it woke me up. I was like, wow, you know. Like mind you, even when I didn't even really have anything to give, I would give to this girl. When my mom cooks, this girl is gonna eat, you know? Like, she's gonna eat. And when I went to do her hair too, I brought food from home to give to her. Like, but you live and you learn, honestly. So, you live and you learn. But it really does, like, even right now too, I'm really just like, okay, like, who right now is taking me for granted? Like, you need to ask yourself that question. Who right now is currently taking you for granted? You know, not like using your time wisely. You're disrespecting your time, meaning they're disrespecting you. Like, who's reaching out to you only when they need something, right? Who are you? Who are you putting effort into, and they're not putting much effort back into you? right? And who isn't really appreciating you. And not necessarily just saying, "Oh, I appreciate you, my guy," but like showing you that they appreciate you. Who's doing that? Who in your friend group is doing that? Who in your family is doing that? If you're in a relationship, are they, putting in as much effort? Do they really appreciate you? Are they disrespectful to you? Is it always all on their time that they want to hang out and not necessarily your time? Right? I feel like the older you get, you really need to start clocking all of these things because people are quick to use you. People are quick to just like take whatever you can offer them, and not really like have anything to give in return. And not really like, and not saying like obviously you have to be friends with people who can give something back in return, but like, are they caring, right? Because when you care truly about somebody, you will do whatever you can for that person. Even if you don't have much, you will try your best to do whatever you can for that person. Like, you will show them in action, y'all. Like, it speaks louder than words. Don't get me wrong. I've fallen for words a lot of time because words be so sweet. Words be so sweet. They be just delicious. They be yum 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 yum. But it turns sour when there's no actions to back it up. You know, hmm. Words will just tutori you well. But once you see there's no actions to follow it, it's gonna start turning sour. It's gonna start tasting bitter. It's gonna start making your stomach hurt. Twist and turn. But yeah. And then I asked, myself, then I was doing research. How exactly do I notice, you know, being taken for granted? And how do I avoid it? Right? And it gave me 5 ways to notice being taken for granted. Shout out ChatGPT because it be coming in clutch and it be just telling me what I need to know. You know. So the first one is pay attention to effort balance. Are you the one always reaching out, making plans, or helping while the other person puts in minimal effort? Number two, check for genuine appreciation. Genuine appreciation. Do they thank you, acknowledge your effort, or just expect you to do things? Do they expect you to come over when you tell them to come over? Do they expect you, right, to just slide through in the snap of the finger? Do they expect you to say yes every time they ask for something, right? See how they act when you say no. If you set a boundary or decline a request, do they respect it or do they guilt trip you? Honestly, when it comes to no, yeah, it is so hard. And honestly, I don't really take being told no that well either, but I will respect your boundary, you know what I mean? But it's hard for me to say no. Like, because I'm just like, I want to help. I want to be there. So it's hard to say no. But when I tell you, I'm starting to realize why I need to say no, which like ties into being selfish, which ties into like me putting some of that energy back into myself, the energy that I'm quick to give people, for me to be able to put that energy in myself, you know what I mean? To me to develop more self love into myself, for me to care for myself as much as I care for other people. So, honestly, I've been learning to say no. And usually, when do say no, I always like kind of tie it to like an excuse so it's not as bad. So it's not as like harsh, because I'll be like, oh, like I can't because I gotta study, I gotta do assignments, or I have work, or whatever reasons, or I gotta be home. Oh, I can't because of that. No, I can't because of that. It's never just plain blank simple no. It's never no because I don't want to. It's never no. It's always something to tie into it so it doesn't seem as crazy, as bad, as hurtful, kind of, if that makes sense. But now, right, I'm really realizing why, honestly, like, I really need to fully just say no. Oh, Phoebe, do you want to? No. Why? Because I don't want to. Like, I need to fully say no without there being a reason tied into it. And even if someone asks for a reason why, I don't have to give them a reason why. Even if there is a reason, like, I don't have to tell you the reason why. Just know, you know? So, I really need to get into that. Like, when you do say no, are they going to be like, okay, I get it? Okay, yeah, sure. You know? Or are they going to try to guilt trip you into it? What's going to happen? Try it out. Try it out. And low key, it's kind of fun, because you get the time to yourself. You get the time to yourself. And I be telling you, I don't be having a lot of time to myself because I'm busy helping people out. I'm busy putting people first, right? So you need to really ask yourself, when am I going to start putting myself first? And the answer gotta be today, because if not now, then when? Come on, people. If not now, then when? And that goes for everything. Like, if not now, then when? Right? Anyways, number 4. Watch for patterns, not just moments. Everyone has bad days, but if someone constantly treats you like an afterthought, it's a red flag. After, right? You wasn't the first person that comes to mind, not even the second, not even the third. Afterthought, It's like one of those things where you get it's like one of those things where it's just like, cool. Someone is throwing something, right? Let's say a a birthday or something like that. Birthdays too. I'm not talking about anybody specifically, so, or let's say a trip or anything like that, right? It's all been planned, right? Invitations sent out, the group created, right? Ticket booked, hotel booked, everything, cool. And then, let's say less than a week or 24 hours before the thing, that's when they reach out to you. Oh, hey, that's an afterthought. You was never initially in the plan. You was never initially in the plan. Not even an attempt for you to be in the plan after thought, right? Like, oh, or let's say a friend of yours, or what you want to call it, go out to dinner, like two friends of yours go out to dinner or whatever, right? on the way to the dinner, oh, you want to come to, yeah, we're on our way there. That's you're an afterthought, right? They don't care that much about you. They don't care that much about me. Afterthought. I feel like, honestly, in my life, when it comes to friends, relationship, whatever it is, I've been an afterthought a lot of time, but I never really noticed that. I never really peeped it. Like, I'm always just so appreciative. Oh yeah, thanks for the invite. Oh, thanks for thinking of me. But they never really thought of me until last minute. Right? Is that assignment that's not even in the back of your head? Is that one assignment that's not even in the back of your head that you just remember out of this day? Oh shoot, I have an assignment that I gotta do. Right? I have an assignment that I gotta do, You've been pushing it off. You just never thought about it. You just forgot about it, right? And honestly, it is kind of like hurtful for you to be. It is kind of hurt for you to even like really fully process. Like, wow, like I've really been an afterthought. But you need to peep it because you don't want to continue being an afterthought. If you're not gonna be a priority in people's life the way that you put them priority in their life, what's the point of like them still being priority in your life, of them still being priority in your mind when you do stuff? Like, honestly, like, you gotta start giving people the same energy that they gave you. I need to start giving people the same exact energy that they give me, because it is draining to put people at the top all the time but yourself. It's draining to care so much. It's draining to love so hard. It's draining, you know? And sometimes I just like get back to my room, and I'm just like, what did I even do today that has me so beat, that has me so tired? Like, I wake up and I'm just like, why? I'm like, I didn't even really get rest, Because I'm not putting myself first. I'm not caring for myself the way I care about people, right? Like, I'm not feeding myself the way I'm gonna feed someone else, I'm not putting as much effort that I am on myself. And it's time to put myself first. I'm 22 years old and I'm finally realizing that I need to start putting myself first. Honestly, I thank God that I'm not even 30 and I'm realizing that I have to put myself first. Thank God I'm actually realizing it now, because it is going to help me in the future. It's going to help me moving forward. It's going to help me, weeding out who's truly my friend and who's just here for the ride, you know? But yeah. And then number 5 is notice how you feel. Do you feel drained? Unappreciated? Or like your presence is only valued when it's convenient for them? Right. Exactly. Because honestly, I do be feeling drained. I do be feeling unappreciated. And honestly, I really do be feeling like it's only when, you know, people need certain things that's on my phone be like, oh, what's up? What's good? How you doing? Hey, hi. Oh, whoa. Hey. And honestly, like when I tell you, my phone do be dry. And not that that's the issue, to be honest, It's just like, wow, like I have nobody really checking in on me. Apart from my mom. Shout out Mama Dukes, love for you if you're watching this, But that's really it. Honestly, like, if there's one person that I talk to every day, it's my mother. That's my mom, Obviously, I ain't gonna tell her, like, what's going on, but, like, I know that's someone who's reaching out to me, not even because they want something or need something from me, but to be like, oh, how's school going? How are you doing? Like, obviously, there's going to be times when she needs help, but, African parents, they need help with a lot of things, especially when it comes to technology and their phone. They always need something, but that's not even like a major. You know, that's not even something that I'm just like, oh, that's something that she does need help with because she's not tech savvy, you know, or whatnot. I'll do my best to help her, but she's not calling me because, like, she just wants to use me, you know, because she actually cares about her daughter, you know. And I'm lucky enough to say that I do have a mother that cares about me, you know, genuinely cares about me. That's gonna pray for me, you know. And then moving forward, I have to avoid being taken for granted. Like I said, I'm doing this research, right? Just so I can avoid, right? And notice it. Because it's easy not to notice things until it's too late. And I don't want it to be too late. I don't want it to be at a point where it's like me against the world. You know, that's when I start noticing things like, no, I need to notice it now. Like right now. Especially if I'm about to go out in this world called Earth outside of school. Oh yeah. I need to clock that T quick. Ooh, I can't be naive no more. You know, I can't be ignorant no more. I need to really learn. Like, yes, I've had a lot of character builders, you know. But honestly, I feel like I keep getting character builders over and over again because I'm really not letting myself learn. I'm not letting myself notice these things, you know. And it's been time. It's been time. But yeah, I have to avoid being taken for granted. Number one, set boundaries early. Make it clear what you will and won't tolerate, whether it's in friendship, relationship, or work. I told you, like, I really suck at setting boundaries, you know. I just let people do dumb and things like that until it gets to a point where it's like, oh, now you're too comfortable, right? Like, you're coming into my space and you're doing all of these things quick. Like, now you're too comfortable, right? Say no without guilt. You don't always have to be available. If you're always saying yes, people might start assuming it's your job. Mm, imagine, imagine. I don't always have to be available, you know, like, and I don't have to feel bad for saying no. I don't want to be like, I feel like that is the issue. Like, I do be feeling bad for saying no, but I need to get to a point where it's just like say no and keep going about my day without it being rent free in my head, you know? Without thinking much about it, without, oh, what are they gonna think? Or I hope they're doing well, or like I really wish I could help, you know what I mean? Like, just say no and go on about your day. That needs to be me. Like, what? Number three, stop overextending yourself. If someone isn't matching your energy, it's okay to pull back and see if they step up. Mm. I've pulled back. Now, who's stepping up? Nobody. And honestly, y'all, like, although it could be lonely, right? If you do notice that nobody is stepping up, but I'd rather be lonely, right, than live a life filled with, you know, people who don't really care about me like that. You know, I'd rather just be by myself, you know, than force something, you know. So I'm like, I will take that step back, believe me, you know. And it really do be hard because I'm really like, dang, like, I haven't checked up on this person in a minute. I haven't talked to this person in a minute. Like, I wonder how they're doing or whatever, right? But once you like get over that, it's just like, oh, well, this person hasn't checked up on me either. Are they even thinking like this right now the way that you are? Right? Are they like, oh shoot, Fav? Are they like, oh Fav, I need to check up on her, right? Oh, I want to see how Favor's doing. I want to see like, oh, you know, da da da. It's been a long time since we spoke on the phone. I wanna da da da. I doubt it, right? Or they could be like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to, but you haven't. Yo, I'm telling you, when you start noticing things, it's hard to not notice it anymore. Like, and honestly, I really feel like God has been putting a lot in my heart, putting a lot in my mind when it comes to all of these things. So, yeah, this isn't even really just what I've noticed. This is what's been placed in my heart. I can't let it go. Right? So cool. The next one is communicate your needs. Sometimes people don't realize they're taking you for granted. True. Have you have a direct, calm conversation about how you feel, right? Because honestly, people wouldn't know. Like personally, it's like okay, if I'm taking from someone for granted, I probably wouldn't notice it like that, you know. But when I do notice it, or if I do notice it, I will do something about it, you know. I'll make sure like I start showing them how much I do appreciate them, right? But if you communicate, if you've communicated right to that person or people or whatever, right? Your needs how you feel, but it's still the exact same thing. Then it's time to take your step back. Like seriously, save your energy for yourself. Save it for yourself. Don't get drained. Like I've been drained, you know? And if you have that conversation and they start trying to gaslight you, start trying to make you feel bad, start not even like realizing that your feelings are valid, it's time to take your step back. Like don't fight for something that isn't going to be like fought for, like don't don't put your energy, don't go fighting, you know, by yourself. It takes two to tango, or whatever they said. You know, you can't be doing all the fighting. If they're not fighting with you or for you, then it's time to just take that step back, wave that white flag. Because then what exactly are you fighting for? You're fighting a losing battle. You're not going to win, you know? And they're not gonna change anytime soon. And trust me, change be taking a long time, you know. But do you want to be drained and try to help somebody change that isn't even willing to change? That isn't willing to see where you're coming from? You know, that's gonna keep taking you for granted, keep putting in the minimum effort, the bare minimum effort, you know? If you communicate it and you see their reaction, you see how they act, you see how it is after, you know, and nothing is, take that step back. Just take it back. You'll be alright, you know? You'll be fine. And then the last one is surround yourself with people who appreciate you. If someone constantly undervalues you, it may be time to distance yourself and invest in relationships that are mutual. Mm-hmm. Take that step back, you know? You gotta know when to walk away. Like I'm telling you, you gotta know when to walk away. You gotta start investing in yourself. All of that energy, putting yourself put into a better relationship that is going to, be a mutual effort. Like take that step back, like now. And it is gonna be hard. Like I said, it's gonna feel lonely at times, but I'm telling you, like it's better to feel be by yourself, right, than to be surrounded with that type of energy. I'm telling you, like, take that step back. And the quicker you do it, the better you recover, The quicker you recover, to be honest. So but yeah, I would say definitely like um this has been what I've been wanting to talk about like all week. Basically, it's been in my mind. I haven't thought about a different topic for me to be like, oh no, like let me talk about this first. No, like when I tell you like being taken for granted, being taken for granted, being taken for granted, that's what's been in like what I need to talk about. This has been in my heart. This has been in my mind, and like it's not it did not shift. It did not go nowhere. I did not forget about it because usually I'm quick to forget things, but this one, it's like, oh, you gotta make a baby. You gotta make a baby on this. You gotta make an episode of this. You gotta do it. And honestly, like the reason like this even came into my mind, right, was because like a friend of mine texted me, right, and then she was like, oh, like yeah, sorry for taking you for granted, da 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 da, cool, right, and then in my mind I was like, oh, like you haven't been taking me for granted, and then I really had to ask myself, really, it's like I really had to go look it up. I'm like, what does being taken for granted mean? You know? Like, what does it truly mean? I have to go look it up. I had to do my research, for me to even be like, to see if she has been taking me for granted or not, you know? And I had to do my research. So, yeah, and honestly, y'all, if there's something that's in your heart, that's been in your heart, you know, like, you gotta do it. I'm telling you, you really just gotta do it. Whether it's talking to someone, whether it's starting a new career, whether it's doing something like, if it's been in your heart, like deep down, you gotta do it. Like, seriously. And this week, honestly, like, I really do feel like God has been putting something in my heart. Like, He's been um, putting a path in my heart, you know? And I've been praying for guidance. I've been praying for the path, I've been praying for what's it called? I've been praying for me to hear him. And me and God, we working on our communication, to see what works for us. But I do believe like he did put something in my heart, because I was saying like in the first podcast how like life has been stressing me out, like future life after school, it has been stressing me out and things like that because I don't even know like what's next, what to do. And I really took the time to really pray, read the word. And I fasted for like 3 days, right? Just to like what am I supposed to be doing next, right? I'm not gonna say what's been put in my heart, but I've been looking into it, right? And mind you, this is something that I've thought about like a year or two ago, right? But I never like thought of it like anything too serious. I never thought of it too deep. I never really like did any research to it. I just like, was just like, nah, like let me just finish school, and like figure it out afterwards. But I'm about to graduate in a couple weeks, right? In like 5 weeks, and this is what's been in my heart. So, and mind you, I'm just like, this is something that I would love and want to do, especially like in the future. Like, I would love to be in this industry. I would love to do that. So, I've definitely been looking more into it because I feel like everybody do have a purpose, have a passion or stuff like that. And I feel like the thing that's been in your heart, right? It's what you're meant to do. And honestly, like, oh no, it could change, in a few years, but if it's in your heart right now, you just gotta do it. And I feel like with me with this podcast too, like, it has been in my heart to even start a podcast, but I never, like, I was just always making excuses. I was just like, oh no, I gotta get this, I gotta get that. I have to figure this out. I don't even know what I will call it. I don't. But this one night over the summer, I really just stayed up sketching like what I want the logo or whatever to look like, what I want to call it, what I want, the slang to be or whatnot. And I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm just like, okay, if I put as much effort so far that I have in this podcast and this other thing that's been in my heart. Like, who's gonna like tell me something? Like, what could go wrong? You know, like if God is with you, who can be against you, right? So, um, yeah. So I would say just do it. Honestly, see what happens. You know, if it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. You know, and it's not leaving anytime soon. You know, like you could forget it, but it's always gonna come back. It's really always gonna come back. So I would say just do it. I would say really start to learn yourself, learn your mind, learn the way you think, learn how to transform it if learn how to transform it if it's not anything positive, you know? So yeah, I would say that's it for me. To be honest, that's all I have to say. Honestly, yeah, you need to really go after what's in your heart and start to learn and notice when you are getting taken for granted, you know, and learn to start setting boundaries. So I would say definitely the challenge that I have for this episode, right, is to go after what's been in your heart, to go after it. And if you don't want to do that, right, the second one I would say is have that conversation that you've been avoiding. Have the conversation that you've been avoiding, to be honest, and just see how it goes, you know. Whether it's for the good, whether it's bad or whatever, at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason, you know. If it ends up being bad, don't even see it as a bad thing. See it as a good thing. Like, you know? So yeah, I would say that's all for that's all for this episode. Thank you for tuning into the Chit Chat Show on Chit and Chat like there's no tomorrow. Um, and yeah, see you guys in the next episode. So, but yeah, hopefully I have a guest for the next one, but we'll see depending on who's available and you know. So we'll just see honestly. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're listening to, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, um, and yeah, and feedback, you know, constructive criticism, yeah, you know, bring it my way. Open to listen. I would say I do well when it comes to feedback, so just anything you got for me, to be honest, I'll take it. So, but yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you all have a blessed weekend, rest of your next week, whatever it is, you know. And if there is something that you've been praying for, or you've been wanting, you've been wishing for, whatever it is that you do, or manifesting, I do hope that it comes your way, you know. And yeah, so that's it for today. Thanks for listening. And all right, bye.